Hey everyone, today we're going to be looking at the excluded values of this little equation, or expression rather. So we have 2a plus 4 over 3a cubed minus 3a squared minus 3a. That's an a, not a 4. Yeah. And what we're looking for is essentially where this function is undefined. So that, well, this expression is undefined, so that if we were to plot this on a graph, we would see all the points where it's like discontinuous. And in order to do that, especially with a fraction, we want to set the denominator equal to 0. So of course that would give us a little cubic expression or equation here now. So we have 3a cubed minus 3a squared minus 18a is equal to 0. And in order to solve a cubic like this, we can just factor out a common factor. In this case, I'll be choosing 3a. So we're going to be, in order to factor that out, we would have 3a and then parentheses a squared, because, well, 3a times a squared will get you 3a cubed, and then minus not 3a, just minus a. Minus a, and then minus 6. And by factoring out the 3a here, we can just check 3a times a squared is just 3a cubed, 3a times a is 3a squared, and 3a times 6 is 18a. So now that we've factored out our 3a, we can do one of two things. We could try to factor again with our quadratic here, so we could factor out something and see what the roots of our function are, or we could solve the quadratic with the quadratic formula and also the 3a. We can bring it to the outsides to set that equal to 0 to find our three roots of our function. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So we're going to not factor out again because I don't like factoring. We're going to set 3a equal to 0, and of course that would just lead a to equal 0. So we found one excluded value. Since this is a cubic, we have two more, assuming of course they're real values, and I've already done this so I know it is. So we now have a squared minus a minus 6, and we want to set this equal to 0. And through the quadratic formula, we can say that negative b, well, it's already negative 1, so we'll have 1 plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is still 1, minus 4ac. A is just 1, so minus, so what is it? C is negative 6. So we have 4 times negative 6, which is negative 24. So minus, of course, over a, 2a, which is just 2. This simplifies down into 1 plus or minus, well, 1 minus negative 24 is just 25, so in the square root of 25 is just 5, so we would have 1 plus or minus 5 over 2, and from that we derive two answers. So if we were to add 5, we would get 6 over 2, which is just 3, so a equals 3, or a equals, we subtract this time and we get negative 2. So all in all, we would have, I'll write it down here, a, remember this is finding excluded values, since this is on the denominator, even though these are the roots of our function, since they equal 0 on the denominator, we can not have a equal to this. So a cannot equal 0, 3, and negative 2. In order to just show sort of what I mean, I'll bring up Desmos and show the graphical representation of this. Cubed minus 3, oops, squared, minus 18a. Oh, I gotta change all the a's to an x. We are not doing parametric equations here. There we go. So here we go. Here's our function, and we're going to be looking for our excluded values. So at 0, you see we have a vertical asymptote. Similarly at, what is it? Negative 2. Negative 2, we can see that is, there you go. Negative 2, it's undefined, and at 3 as well, we have a vertical asymptote as x approaches 3. So yeah. So you got 2 vertical asymptotes and 1 point where it's just straight up undefined, and these are the excluded values of our little expression here, or equation, or function, whatever you want to call it. There isn't really an equal sign just yet, so we'll call it our expression for now. But those are the excluded values of our expression, where essentially we can not have, it's like a domain restriction, if you will. It is just straight up a domain restriction, where domain is, every number that's not 0, 3, or negative 2 is allowed for this expression. Otherwise, we get, like I said, vertical asymptotes, or it's just outright undefined at negative 2. So yeah, that's the excluded values. Thank you for watching.